This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
That's great. Yo, you just said all that's powerful. I got a lot of things I'm processing. Like, it's kind of like you could equate that to, like, you know, these rappers today where they're very popular. Like, I mean, I really enjoy these young guys. I like Kodak Black. I like a couple of these guys out here. But, like, you're popular at a point where you're a great influencer, but you don't know anything about a lot of stuff outside of your craft a lot of times. But by the time they get you using you, you're not, you know, not reaching the same folks you were reaching at your height, at your zenith.
Yeah. And they know who to pick, and they know who to put it behind because, you know, they see him coming, don't have a father in the house. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, he does. He got a few little things, a little rambunctious. Okay. That might be the guy we want. You know, it's almost like when the player has everything together, he better really be good. Same thing with the entertainer. If the entertainer has a stable living environment, has all of his stuff together, he better be damn good. Because if he ain't the exceptional of the exceptional of the exceptional, they're going to put their money behind the people who came up in a broken environment because people that came up in a broken environment is going to tell broken stories. Mm. And broken stories, you know, keep the people broken.
Yeah, because I also think about the talented tenth concept of Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. It would have worked if you didn't cut the head from the body like what they did. Like you saw behind basketball, remove the head from the body, from the support. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why that didn't work. People think it was something else. Oh, it didn't work. No, it didn't work because the integration mess, you know, y'all confuse integration, you know, the people before, they confused that with assimilation. You don't supposed to lose your self-identity through integration. You're supposed to gain access to certain things. Then we confuse assimilation with integration. So, I mean, like what Dr. King said before he died, we have integrated into a burning house because we lost our moral compass. We lost our self and identity, and Marcus Garvey said that the modernity or the modern life will be the death of the Negro. You know, modern lifestyle will be the death of us, and look what's playing out right now.
That's some real talk. Let's break that down right there. Look at who we were. You know, I was talking to someone about this the other day when I was doing one of my mentoring sessions. Mm-hmm. The hood rat is a post-1968 phenomenon.
Yep.
The hood rat didn't exist before that.
That's right.
Now, as black folks now, we always loud. We got that loud auntie.
Right.
Sit your ass down, Bernadette. We know her. But she wasn't a hood rat before the government started giving that money out. The hood rat was cultivated.
That's right.
We have such a great society. In Jim Crow, black people stayed polite. Mm-hmm. You know, we had manners. We have respect for one another and ourselves. And you didn't see the debauchery and all these things that's going on right now. That came when the government systematically removed the father from the home. That came when we desegregated. And because integration, we didn't integrate. We only integrated our money and lost ourselves. We lost our businesses. So you had generations of kids growing up without seeing people who own businesses and people who run businesses. And then we put it up to our enemy to educate us, man. Like Brown versus Board of Education was one of the worst things that can happen to us. Why? Because schools are still segregated. Yeah. That ain't changed nothing. It just put the power. But what it did do was get all those black teachers fired.
There you go.
Black administrators similar to the Negro League. What it did was it got the people who loved us. And how is it that we went from being self-taught engineers like a Lewis Latimer to having the highest dropout rate? Integration and losing ourselves. And that's a mistake that we made. And when I look back, some people tend to look back on the past with judgment. And there is a level of judgment, but I look back on the past to say, okay, where do we go wrong so we can fix it? I ain't got time to say, okay, those people are wrong, we right, I'm better. I ain't got time for none of that nonsense. They did a lot of things good back then, and they made a lot of mistakes. Our job is to continue with the things that they did good, fix the mistakes, and then keep an open ear to Generation Z and the next generation to what their concerns are so we can have as few mistakes as possible for them. You know, let's break that chain of the baby boomers coming in, knowing every goddamn thing, saying this is what it is, always being critical of what's going on, but ain't done a damn thing to solve what's going on. The baby boomers have a Dr. Carl Anderson, and they don't put nothing behind that, man, but they told us to look out and be Oprah and be Michael Jordan when Carl Anderson was there the whole time. So we don't want to make that mistake again. You know, we got to look at that. The baby boomers told us that these other guys are the best entertainers, these, you know, that we see on TV, and not a Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory did more for black people. I put him, he's up there on the level with King X, Lumumba, and whoever else you want to name black. Dick Gregory's on the highest of levels. But they didn't point us in his direction. They pointed us towards the nonsense. So I think what we got to do is not make that mistake. We got to support the people that we see out there doing it. We got to support you. We got to put money behind you. When we have one of our brothers doing a Jason Black or Tariq doing a documentary, we got to put some money. We got to pay for it. We can't be bootlegging that stuff, and we got to put it out there, you know? And I think that's just a mistake that we cannot afford to make again as Gen X and millennials take over the leadership of what's going on in black society.
Man, I just love listening to you talk, man. I just enjoying this. It's like, man, this man is, man, people like you that actually exist.
They don't like putting mics behind us, man. I did the show. I did the show on this app called Fox Soul. I did Fox Soul twice.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be lucky if they ever bring me back.
But you know, I just because like what you talking about. I mean, this is like the hood rat is a government invention. Like they invented the project is called a project for a reason.
Project.
Think about that movie Claudine with James Earl Jones and also the A.L.L. Ancestral now, Diane Carroll. How James Earl Jones is garbage worker. He's a proud black man, had to hide when the white lady social worker would come around. I mean, you're a man, but you hide it in the closet. You know,
I didn't realize how bad that movie was.
The movie was comedy, but it's really a tragedy, right?
Yeah, it's a great movie on top. I used to love Claudine. I still do.
That's classic.
When you talk about Gladys Knight and the Pimps, you know, singing "Old and Old," all that. I love that soundtrack. Curtis Mayfield, come on now, Claudine. But then my wife had never seen it, so I showed it to her because me and my wife had totally different worlds. We grew up in totally different worlds, and we only grew up 3 miles apart. We literally grew up 3 miles apart. Went to the same school, middle school and high school, but we live in totally different worlds. So I got to see how things were just through us. Like I grew up in the Crenshaw district off Crenshaw and Rodeo, which is now called Obama, but I still call it Rodeo. So I grew up over there, down there. I remember riding my bike down to the scene in Boys in the Hood when Ferris shot up the whole street and everybody had to run off. I remember as a kid being on my bike watching that. That's how LA I am. My wife grew up in Dare Heights. You know, that's a wealthy black neighborhood. She grew up in a neighborhood. My wife didn't know black people struggled like that. She only struggled on TV. Why? Because the president of Motown was down the street. The city councilman was next door. And everybody in the neighborhood was black. And they were black and they had a Dare Heights View Park is not only black and rich and wealthy, but it's black and it still has that militant mindset. People move to those areas because they got the money to move to Brentwood. They got the money to move to Beverly Hills. But they said, no, I want to be around black people. So that's the mindset of 1980s, 1990s, the Dare Heights in L.A. And I got to see the difference between, you know, how things operate. And how, so when she saw Claudine, her mindset was, hold on. The only thing she picked up from that movie was the end. Why did all the black people have to go to jail? Remember? Now all the kids are running at the end of the movie to go hop in the paddy wagon and go to jail too. But it just shows, like, for me, I'm looking like, even though no one in my family went to jail, for me, I'm thinking, like, that's just a story. but from someone who grew up just 3.5 miles in a different area who didn't grow up in that. For her, it was like, hell no, I'm not going to accept this. Black people don't go to jail. That's not our story, but they keep pushing it on us. And it made me think, like, damn, even when we do get really good movies, these messages really be messed up. Like, I remember talking to my dad about growing up. Like I told you, he left manual arts the same year as Robin Harris, 1971. Mm-hmm. And he talked about how back then when the movies came out, you know, you had, and I noticed you had Shaft, you had Superfly, and you had The Mac. Mm-hmm. And those were the three most influential movies of the early 70s. And if you take a look back, most of black male society, not all, but most, went in one of those three directions. Most either went the Shaft direction, which was what I call the Shaft direction, law enforcement, going to school, the more straight-laced way. Then you had the Mac direction, your pimps who grew into rappers as the 90s and everything came through, and your street hustlers, and that was in Superfly. And all three movies on their own merit are really good movies, but what are they really saying if they influence the population to do what the movie's doing? I'm not mad at the Shaft route, but when you look at the Superfly and the Mac route, how good was that for our society?
And what was the movie that came out before that opened up the doorway for those movies?
Scarface?
No, Scarface was in the 80s, but you had Sweetback Badass Song.
I meant to say Godfather.
Yeah, with Sweetback Badass Song with Melvin Van Peebles. Melvin Peebles, excuse me.
How did I miss that?
No, but that was the thing. See, I like Sweetback Badass Song because it was about revolutionary stuff. I mean, Sweetback was the, you know, you want anti-hero, whatever. He was the bad nigga, but he was a street hero. He was a revolutionary. And, you know, Bill Cosby put the money behind that. You know, Earth, Wind & Fire did the soundtrack for it. Hollywood took us. It was the black exploitation movies that saved Hollywood. It
did, because I said Godfather. It was those movies that got them the money to finance the Godfather.
Exactly. That was top movies like the Black Panther side movie that came out a couple years ago now. They always use black movies and black talent to bail out the white industry, so the PWIs, whatever. That's the history of America. We built this country. But, yeah, that movie, they took it, they hijacked it. Like with Superfly, people always talk about Scarface, but my thing about Superfly was that was not realistic at the end when Ron O'Neal said, "You better not touch the hair of my pretty little head," or whatever. Walk away. Black person. Look at that. You're killing niggas at Wendy's, man.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what's real about Superfly. That scene when he was running and jumped over the gate in some damn high heel disco boots. And his hair was still pretty when he landed. That shit told you right then that there was something wrong.
But we don't think it's all years later though. But it's like I remember I read Snoop Dogg his autobiographical memoir he wrote some years ago, and he was talking about how when he first saw Scarface, like he said, a lot of folks saw that as entertainment, but and people in the hood saw it as a way out. They saw it as a legitimate way out, but Scarface dies in the end.
Yeah, and people saw
a legitimate way out.
Just like people saw Superfly as the way out.
Yeah,
yeah, so like, you know, we have poison within. We have a lot of poison that's given to us, you know, in the candy wrapper. Look at Black Panther, great movie, but at the end of the day, it was black people fighting black people instead of the outsiders. And then
gender wars. Look what's going on in our community now with this. You know, who got the oppression Olympics, or who got the more pain? You know, black person versus black man. They did play out the Black Panther. And then also, I noticed too, though, you know what's interesting, because this stuff is real. Like, I remember seeing Queen and Slim last year. I ain't gonna never forget the reaction of the audience towards the end. They saw what happened to Queen and Slim. Folks started booing. They started walking out before the movie was over. And look what's going on with black folks now.
Yeah, I didn't see Queen and Slim. I heard about it.
You ain't missing out nothing, but
I know you were thinking.
Well, it was disappointing.
Yeah, I heard it was shit on the stick. That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, this is a black man. I'm just tired of the images that are on TV. You know, and it's constant, and it's. I'm tired of it. You can't see anything positive. Look at these TV commercials. You see those? I think it was the Gatorade.
Okay.
Every time Dwayne Wade is with his wife Gabrielle Union, he's a former athlete. But he got a 50-year-old black woman kicking his ass and everything athletic. What kind of shit is that?
None
of them TV commercials she flipping tires better than he is, and he just won a championship 10 years ago, and he can't. It's like from the commercials, and then they push out these effeminate dudes. You know, men, black men. I like Black Lightning. I can't even watch Black Lightning is on the surface, it's a good show, but first off, I can't get past Scooter from Living Single being a superhero. I just can't get past that.
Well, he kept himself in good shape, where he still looks the same.
He looks the same. That's still Scooter to me. But and second, it just seems I saw his wife go crazy and slap him in the face, and he's always, you know, he's always constantly getting checked by his own family. He's a hero out in the street, but within his own family, his daughters don't be listening to him. His wife be questioning everything he do. Right. And the brains of the whole operation is the old white man. He's the mindset. He's the mind behind everything. It's like, when was the last time you seen a black person be an alpha personality, smart, intelligent, and then still on TV get a chance to kick a white person's ass? Because when you watch Black Lightning, or even back when you watch Luke Cage, when the black people walk up, Luke Cage does. He power driving their asses down through the earth, through hell, across to China. That's how strong he was. When the minute the white person come off, he blows some wind and knocked him out the way. You never really saw Luke Cage physically whoop a white person the same way he would physically whoop a black person. And these are all things sort of go to the minds, to the subconscious of people. You don't see unapologetically black anywhere on that TV at all anymore. And so it's just like, I don't watch that much stuff anymore, man. I get tired of seeing dudes prance around looking like sissies all the time. I'm just tired of it.
You know, I'm glad you brought up another one is Watchmen. That show. Have you seen that show from HBO?
Yes.
And it was disturbing how they portrayed, like, you know, Mr. Manhattan, who was in blackface, but the way he was, like, I said, man, this guy is so weak. You can't be the most powerful thing in the universe.
If you look, I did a breakdown on that, because it was this one thing. I was watching this because I saw it before, but I happened to see that episode again yesterday when my wife was watching it. I forgot which episode it was, but the brother, he was out there kicking ass in the streets. Then he come back home after kicking ass in the streets all day long. He come back home, he sees his son putting on something on his face, and then he comes and tells him, "Hey, look, don't do that." In that scene, the mom comes and rips the son back out of dad's arms and says, "Don't touch my baby." And then just checks him in front of the kid. And I paused it. Like I couldn't watch anymore. And my wife and I had a discussion about this, and I told her, I was like, that right there is the problem. Out of my 25 years working with children, first of all, you only call me in when things ain't right. I don't come into households that got everything right. You don't need me. I'm coming in situations that aren't right. They're fixable, but they're not right. But one of the main reasons is, first of all, a lot of times there wouldn't be a father there, but when there is a father there, every time that father tries to be a father, you got the mother jumping in front of the father, in front of the kid, checking the father.
That's true. Oh, man.
And that is poison. I grew up in a two-parent household. I grew up with both my mom and my dad. They still out there right now. Hell, they probably going to listen to this interview when we're done with it. I never in my life saw my dad raise his voice at my mom. Never once. And at the same time, when my dad would do things that my mom disagreed with, she never said it in front of us. All of their issues went back to the bed. They had an issue, they shut up, go to the bedroom, turn the music up, and then they hash it out, whatever. They didn't do that in front of us. Parents, you can't have these disputes in front of the children. On one hand, it undermines the other parent's authority, and at the same time, it subconsciously lessens your authority to that child. Because even though the child consciously agrees with you, because whatever you defend them from punishment in some ways, they get rested from whatever action they did that was getting ready to get them in trouble. So in the interim, the parent who did the checking feels good because the child's with them. But in that child's mind, that child is looking at both of y'all crazy. You know what I mean? Because these children need discipline. I remember there was this one kid that I worked with. He didn't have a father in home, but he had his mother. And this little kid would always get in trouble. Middle school, always getting in trouble. But he had an uncle. His uncle was a football coach. And so when the kid would get in trouble, he would put this, he couldn't whoop him. He didn't want to whoop him, which is good. But he would put this kid through these intense workouts, really intense workouts to tire him out. And then those workouts would be effective. But each time they got to the point to where that kid was ready to turn the corner, the mom would come swoop in. Don't do that to my son. You do this to my son, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And it's happened over and over and over again to where this kid never really learned the consequences to his actions. And by the time the kid turned 16, he did something because he never faced consequences. He ran across the law, and he did something that he got tried as an adult and lost. And so now he's going to be in jail until he gets to his mid-30s. Wow. And I always think, Mom, if you just let the men, because sometimes the mom and the man can't work it out. I get it. Some of these dudes ain't crap. Ladies, I understand that you may not necessarily want him to be around that. I get whatever it is, whatever it is. There are men in that environment that need to have some sort of an input over which direction that child goes. And when he has that input, he don't need a woman coming over telling him, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you have an issue with what he's doing, pull him over to the side, say it behind closed doors, hash out whatever issues. I'm not saying let the issues ride. Hash the issues out. Right. Don't do it in front of the child because it damages the child and it damages their how they look at authority, how they view authority. So when I saw that one scene from Watchmen where you see the father be a superhero all day in the world, come home, try to be a father, just for the mom to say, don't touch my baby. That right there is the reason why we have so many damn beta males running around black male society right now.
You said
right there.
Yeah, I'll tell people to study Black Lightning. They're definitely pushing that LGBTQIA agenda and that deep. Study Watchmen. Not just watch these things for entertainment or distractions. Actually study. There's a science to what they're doing. And they've been doing it for the last 50-plus years. As you talk, I'm thinking about even the state of the black athlete. You look at somebody like, you had in the 60s Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You had Muhammad Ali. You had Jim Brown. You had Bill Russell. These cats went to PWIs. They credited, even Muhammad Ali, who taught him how to box, a white cop in Louisville, of all places, where they killed Breonna Taylor. It was a white cop in Louisville that taught Ali how to box. White businessman invested in his career at first. Even look at somebody like Jim Brown, going to Syracuse University, who should have been the first black football player to win the Heisman. You look at somebody like Bill Russell, who's from the South, and, he went to San Francisco State, and did his thing. But these cats knew who they were. They had a solid identity of who they were because they came out of our struggle. Some of our leaders were Garveyites. They were Christians, but they were Garveyites. They knew black was powerful and proud. He had that. He knew about Emmett Till. Emmett Till was around the same age when he was killed, and it stuck with him as a black person coming through this, as a black man. Jim Brown, all these cats, man, they had a solid awareness of who they were, and they were men. You look at somebody like Kwame Ture, Dr. King, Malcolm X, whatever you may believe about these guys were strong alpha males. They were leaders, Medgar Evers, all these cats. And Bobby Dick Gregory, were friends with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys lost their lives before they turned 40 because of what they stood for and what they stood against. But if you look at now, where I saw this magazine cover. I don't know which magazine, I don't know if it was New Yorker or somebody had a magazine cover where there's a Black Lives Matter theme to it. It's a sister. I know the artist Kadir Nelson. I think that's Kadir Nelson's style. But it's a sister leading a protest with a little son. And there's no man around. It's just the woman with the child. And, you look at somebody like Fannie Lou Hamer.
You talking about Rolling Stone?
We didn't know she could vote till she was about in her 40s. She knew what the white feminists were trying to do to the movement. She said, we got to stand together as a black family. She had a husband. She believed in, the state sterilized her against her will without her consent. And she knew that the black family could overcome all this. And she didn't have the greatest education, formal education, but she had a thing called common sense. She knew that when they divide and conquer us, that's when we can't, achieve our goals and ends. Then you look at, tomorrow is Father's Day. And you know what happened to Father's Day back in, 56 years ago, Freedom Summer. You had the kidnapping and the lynching of Michael Swerner, James Chaney, and Andrew Goodman. Freedom Summer, 1964, Mississippi. You know, James Chaney was the only one that had a child. He was 21 when they killed their brother from Meridian, Mississippi. He had a child that was 11 days old. I talked to her on the anniversary when they pulled her father's remains out of the ground on August 4th of 2014. But he never met his child. It kidnapped and killed his brother on Father's Day. He never met his child, 11 days old, his daughter. And the thing about it was that law enforcement was involved. People don't know the Klan. The Klan always been law enforcement. You know, they just now integrated into goddamn law enforcement and all this bullshit. The FBI is the Klan, as far as I'm concerned. But
yeah,
they always the police kidnapped these people, man, when they was investigating a church burning. Then they stopped to lay down at night and killed them. But Dick Gregory was the reason why them guys were down there for Freedom Summer, because in '63, when the Kennedy administration cut out funding to the black folks in Greenwood, cut out their welfare benefits, Dick Gregory, through the help of Hugh Hefner, chartered a plane to deliver all this food and supplies to the people of Greenwood. And the organizers of Freedom Summer, like Bob Moses, who I met a couple of times, they said Dick, as a one person doing that, inspired them to have the Freedom Summer the next year. So Dick did a lot of things. He's not like a weaponized celebrity, because people always want to use that Berkeley interview that Malcolm did, that called out Dick Gregory and Lena Horne by name, but they supported the movement. And Malcolm was the type of cat where he would say, you know what, I was wrong, I apologize. Malcolm was constantly like one of them guys, like, if I got a mistake, no, sister, I apologize, like he did Lorraine Hansberry, the sister who wrote The Raisin in the Sun. Their birthday's the same birthday, May 19th, but he said something about her married to a Jewish guy in public, and they met at Sidney Poitier's house or something like that. They hashed it out. He said, okay, sister, I'm sorry about that. But like I talked to people that work with Malcolm, Malcolm had a lot of supporters behind the scenes we know as celebrities. Some cats knew their place, but I really believe, like Judge Brown said, that this is a 50-year plus experiment where they want to get rid of alpha males, in particular black men who are alphas.
They do. Look how they treat Judge. They want to give him a Twitter check.
right. And they won't put his show back on. Like Judge took a stand, man. You know,
I think that it's on us as black people to sort of change how we view things, because they're not going to ever change. We got to change our relationship and how we view it. People always want to look back on Malcolm and Martin and look on whatever their current favorite athlete or entertainer is,
right,
and see them as whole and perfect instead of the humans that they are.
Yeah.
They're human, and you got to look at a person's career arc, their life arc, the totality of what they've done and their progression. Because if anybody's great at what they do, they're going to have progression. Martin Luther King started off saying one thing. He ended saying, I've integrated my people into a burning house. Right. Mm-hmm. Malcolm X, we're all in a constant state of refinement. And if we look at other people and give them that same grace, we can learn more from them. The problem is we like to put people at God. It's the old Jesus complex. This is how Christianity and church, even though you may not be a Christian, even though you may have left church, the mindset still exists. We turn people we love into Jesus. We turn them into infallible. And when we do that, we miss the message. And yes, Malcolm said those things about, because I've heard people say that, try to bring it up anytime I talk about Dick Gregory. Right. I say, yeah, but did you know he also apologized? When someone has a microphone in front of their face all the time, guess what? They're going to say something crazy from time to time.
Of course. But especially now, right, with social media and all this stuff.
Yeah. We have to give them the same compassion and understanding that we would want ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so, like you brought up Judge Joe Brown. I don't agree with everything Judge says. Mm-hmm. Like me personally knowing a lot about Kobe, the stuff they say about Kobe, I'd be like, you got told some fan, right? Yeah, you got told some bad information, dog. You know what I mean? I don't agree with Judge when he said he's gonna vote for Trump. I agree with everything else. I hate Democrats, but I'm not gonna necessarily vote for Trump. I'm gonna agree with Judge on that. It's a lot of things, certain things I don't agree with Judge on, but Judge got so much game and information. It's like when you two interview, it's like having a second grandfather in the room to listen to and soak up game. Judge is gonna give you so much game. If you allow 2 or 3 things that you don't agree with that man on to throw off his whole message, you the fool, not him.
Yep.
You know, and so we as a people tend to try to make these people perfect. I love sharing your interviews with Dr. Randy Short with people because to me, Dr. Short is so goddamn funny to me But what do I see when I read the comments on some of the stuff that he says? And when people, or some of the other people he interviewed, they'll call in, and I love Dr. Short most of the interviews with you because you let them go. Other people try to jump in.
People
you can't cut that
afraid,
down.
but a lot of cats be afraid. They say, "Brother, I ain't know he gonna say that." So how you know he gonna say that when you been hearing him saying it on my show?
Yeah, no, Dr. Short. I mean, he goes in, and so he's a man. Dr. Judge Joe Brown, he's a man. Dick Gregory, people get mad at me because I said it before. Personally, as much as I love Malcolm, Martin, Garvey, everybody else, I always say Dick Gregory was the greatest freedom fighter of the 20th century. Why? Why do I say that? He lived the longest. One. And so just having the life that he lived, he was able to impact more people tangibly.
Right.
Like you said, he would charter planes to Greenwood. The work he did with the Native Americans. Every story you hear about Dick Gregory has to involve him exchanging money, or whether it be directly money or money in the form of an event, food, something tangible that people can hold on, put in their pocket, put in their belly, more than just a few words. Dick Gregory was around for all that. Dick Gregory, my favorite two of Dick Gregory and Dr. Claude Anderson. Those two lived the longest, and they've done tangibly more. But people are waiting on white media to give them a spotlight and acknowledge them. And that's the mistake that we make, because what do they do when they acknowledge them? They acknowledge Dr. Martin Luther King, but they acknowledge him and frame him as if he stopped maturing in 1964. It's like everything Martin Luther King said is great until 1964, and you don't hear a damn thing about him afterwards. You know what I mean?
Right, they destroy him after 1964.
They destroy him. When it comes to Malcolm X, you know what I mean? They got people thinking that he softened up and changed and started to like white people after he went to Mecca. And that can't be further from the truth. So even when you do get them to acknowledge our heroes, they gonna corrupt them in some kind of way.
Yeah. We
got to see the works of these people on our own, live time and in action, and put our money behind them. Me personally, like I put not even a whole lot, $25 a week. I'll either give it to Dr. Claude Anderson's charity. I'll put it on something. Just $25. What if everybody said, okay, $25 or $15 a week, I'm gonna put something towards black people who are doing something. How much more we can do instead of waiting on that leader? Because even when we do get that leader, we don't recognize them in real time.
No, we don't. It's unfortunate.
I recognize.
We had our fair share of great ones too. We had our fair share.
The most. We had the best. Think about it. Black people. We had Denmark Vesey. We had Frederick Douglass. We had Fannie Lou Hamer. We had Ida B. Wells. We had Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. We have Mavis Fuller. We have Claude Anderson. We got Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammad. You can name great black influencers and thinkers. You can name more. There are more black influencers and thinkers over the last 200 years than it is almost NBA Hall of Famers. That's how dope we are. But we always waiting on the next one instead of ingesting what the one. Dick Gregory showed us the path. Dick Gregory, through his life, showed us what the deal is. Whatever your talent is, whatever you do, you reinvest it back into your people, and you help them that way, whether it be through words, monetarily, or whatever. He showed us. Yeah. What you waiting on the next leader for? You know, Dr. Claude Anderson shows us. He wrote Powernomics. He wrote Black Labor, White Wealth. He gave us the blueprint.
And he's still around.
And he's still around.
Like he's still around. Like you talk about, yeah. And
people like you, Brother Ron, you are a treasure and a value to those of us black people who want to do better and know more, because you put the people in front of us. That's all you can do, brother. It's on everybody else to take whatever they hear and apply it to their life in whatever way works best for them.
Yeah. You know, I got to tell the Dr. Claude Anderson story, because you keep on bringing them up. I got to tell this story. It was back in 2004, around the time of the Brown v. Board anniversary, and an organization led by my friend and mentor, by Jegna, the late Judge DeArmory Bailey. He was the guy who helped co-found the National Civil Rights Museum. And also he was the preacher on how Stella got her groove back, and also the guy that whipped Harrison through the orange, whatever, the judge, the People versus Larry Flint. But he was a long-time civil rights activist. He invited Dr. Claude Anderson to speak at Lamar Owen College, the historical black college and university in Memphis. And his major sponsors pulled out, including FedEx, when he invited Dr. Claude Anderson to the keynote. You know, they pulled out because this guy, you know, this is 2004. So Dr. Claude Anderson came down anyway and gave a powerful speech about our situation as black people, you know, and that is, to me, it spoke a lot about who he was, who he is, rather, you know, his character, about his commitment to serving black people. And also, kudos to the organizer. Judge Bailey passed away 5 years ago in July, and kudos to them for standing their ground and bringing him down anyway, some type of way. So props to both of them. Props.
Yeah, that takes some courage to still stand up and follow through with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of these places don't want to follow through with it. I remember Dr. Claude Anderson talking about. I remember hearing an interview where he talked about IBM said that they give him more computers if he dropped black and include minorities and all this other stuff, and he said no.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear stories like that, I gotta put money behind you. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about it. I was looking at your YouTube page this morning. I gotta buy that Malcolm X shirt you got is dope. I gotta buy it. I'm buying that when we off the phone. I'm buying that. I'm buying that Malcolm X shirt because, like, I don't know if you know, I co-host on my friend Craig Smith's podcast on Thursdays before mine. Craig Smith, he's a roastman. He's on that show.
I like Craig Smith. That's the one for Corey Holcomb, right?
Yeah, he does 50 on 50.
Craig Facts. Yeah, y'all amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, we started comedy about 3 months apart, me and him,
wow.
The same comedy club, and we've been good friends ever since. I wore your Dick Gregory shirt on his show this past Thursday. I know he has a good audience, and I was like, let me wear this shirt, so hopefully somebody asks where I got it from. You know, man, that's you put out some good quality products, my brother, and I really, you know, and so the people listening, you give us so much game. We gotta support you, man. Like, you can't be listening to the people that Brother Ron put out in front of us and not buy something, or at least send some on his Cash App, because you know this is as you see what we saying with Dr. Claude Anderson. The Coke, Pepsi, these people, they're not going to pay for a real message. If it's a real message, they're not going to put no money behind it. People still need plane tickets. People still need to do these stories that you give us. People need the resources. And I think it's on the community. It's on us to put money behind it. Anytime Jason Black got something going on, I put money behind it. I put money behind you before. I've donated to some of the things that you've had. It's just we got to do it. And I do it because Dr. Claude Anderson said that's the way to do it. Dick Gregory proved that's the way to do it. So since I've seen the people who've done it, show it, talk it, say that's the way, it's my job to be the foot soldier and do it. And I think it's all of our jobs to be the foot soldier and do whatever we can. That's the only way this is going to keep going, because at some point, YouTube's going to start deleting all these videos with the real information.
Oh, they doing it now. You know that.
Yes.
So now you better download this stuff and save it.
Matter of fact, I'm in Facebook jail right now for the next 7 days because of the program that I did on Thursday.
Now, Brother Dwann, help me understand this Facebook. Why they putting people like you in jail?
I don't know. Like they'll find some kind of two of the times I got put in jail. I was replying to somebody on my own friends list that I'm cool with, joking around, but they said that's offensive. Well, really what it was this past Thursday, my show was, and I would like you guys to go check it out.
That was a great show, too. You got my shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah, Dwann B, DWANNB, on YouTube, or go to Hotepp-ish.com, and all my social media links are in the top right corner. You click on them, you'll see me there. But I did a show on LGBTQ being a Trojan horse agenda that's meant to water down black progress. And I got my man Gerard Guillory, Ruben Warren. Those are both comics, but they're very conscious comics. And we broke it all down, how these outside movements water down black progress. And we didn't. The show, there's no hate towards gay people. The show's done with love. I have no issues with gay people at all. But I do have an issue with how gay society is being used to undermine black society, the same way the women's movement was used before The same way, the same way the suffrage, same way they always, the same way back in the 1850s, it was color. They always have some kind of wedge, a new wedge that they try to use to divide us, and how the LGBTQ movement is the wedge that's being used to divide us right now. So in the middle of that show, I was saying some things, and Larry said something in the comments, and I was just joking with Larry. You know how me and Larry joke back.
Oh, yeah, I know. You got great chemistry, yeah.
Yeah, and I said something joking back, and they said, oh, that comment was against rules. You're banned for the next 7 days. Like, what? That's
crazy.
So, yeah, I'm on their radar because I be saying that real stuff, and they don't like it. So I'm like, okay, I'm new to YouTube. I've just really started uploading to my channel in the last 6 months. So it's getting there. I don't got that many subscribers right now, but I'm going to have thousands when I keep doing it. I'm only 6 months into really uploading every week. You know?
Yeah, you got great content, man. And also they do shadow banning a lot. Trust.
They do.
You don't trust it. Can't trust the analytics, man. Yeah, don't even. They shadow ban me a lot on different platforms, man. So I don't even worry about it no more.
I didn't get your Randy Short interview until later. I was mad. I was like,
they be blocking it, man. Cause even Dr. Short be talking, man, I don't get nothing in the searches, man. When I said I don't get nothing in the searches either. We got to keep on going, man. And
I never met Dr. Short. I love him, but I inboxed him. He added I requested him on Facebook, and I sent him a message just saying, he sent me a message, and I sent him a message, and I said, name Dr. Short. I say you're inspiration to me. I can't wait to hear you interview with Brother Ron again. I go later to my Facebook. I saw y'all interview 2 days ago. I'm like, what? Like, hold on. Do you mean to tell me this interview already happened? And I just told the brother I can't wait. He probably looking at my message like, what are you talking about?
You definitely chop it up with Dr. Shaw. I think you definitely enjoy him, and you already do. But he's a character, man. And that's like the world is upside down. So a person like him should be at some type of institution being taken care of, and
we got to take care of Dr. Short, man. He's somebody, right? He's somebody that I'm glad you brought it back up because it's a point I was about to make earlier that I didn't make. I'll hear him talk sometimes, and then I'll read the comments, and people will be talking about, ooh, but why does he have to say so many bad things about that person? Ooh, and why does he have to say it this way? And why does he have to say it that way? If that's your question, here, let me answer it for him. Because he feel like it, goddammit. How about that?
Right.
People have their own way of doing things. The question is, did you get the message? And it's up on us as a people to be able to filter through our biases to get information. And if you can't, if the person's too hardcore, you can't filter through it, then you take that upon yourself and you can say, okay, look, I don't necessarily like this particular person, but you don't go around and trash them and talk about how bad they are. Just take it upon yourself and be like, okay, that person don't work for me and move on. It's all kinds of black thought leaders, conscious people that I don't necessarily vibe with a lot of what they say, but I don't publicly down them because they say it in a way that's not palatable to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have to be more mature than that. Because, look, for how people give messages, there's always somebody willing to receive it. I personally love the way Dr. Short break things down. When he started clowning, when he started calling Kamala, and me and my wife I just heard her, my wife on him just recently. And now, ever since she heard him, she's like, hey, where's Dr. Short? You hear anything else? Because he's so goddamn funny. I want to hear him. I just want to hear him talk. I was mad y'all interview was only an hour the last time. I'm like, you got to call him back.
So you're going to have to have more. He be calling me like 3 o'clock in the morning. Tell me, Brother Herb, we got to get on.
Oh.
I'm like, man, you crazy, man. But I mean, you know what Dr. King said? I always call myself creatively maladjusted. We people that you can't go along to get along because the world is so screwed up. How you going to accept this type of treatment as a human being? And you get what you get, but he said creatively maladjusted. Human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. If you look at Dr. King and the folks he hang around, they were crazy too.
Oh yeah,
they were like different and weird, and people call it eccentric, whatever. But it lies on the unreasonable person to change the world.
Dr. John Henry Clark said he hung around the pool hall guys.
They're right. Dr. King was an interesting, but we make it one-dimensional due to how we see ourselves through the white eyes. We got to reclaim that narrative and put our respect on our names once again, man, because the ancestors, they demanded, because I've been so restless. I tell people, I talk to dead people. People say, I mean, it ain't like no scary thing. What I mean is that the ancestors reach out to you in different ways. Will you be hearing a song and you can hear some other words beside the actual song? Or, you know, I like to go to cemeteries to eat lunch. And you know, it's a thing that the ancestors are here. They back. And this is a special time in history, and things are changing. And, you know, you want to be on the right side of history. And all this kowtowing and not speaking your mind and being yourself is for the birds, man. Just be who you are, because you cannot make a real contribution to the world being somebody you're not.
I'm glad you said that, because I want to bring something up. I didn't even think about this. This just jogged my memory. Mm-hmm. And here's a real-life example of what I'm trying to preach to the people who are listening. And how I apply. Anything that I say is something that is because I apply it. I ain't great at it, but you apply some shit that don't work for you. But you keep applying different stuff until it works.
Sure.
You, over the years I've been listening to you who I learned about who Nathan Bedford Forrest was, I didn't know who that was before you. You talk about you and Judge talk about like a lot of local things in Memphis. And then, I don't know if you noticed this, but just in your casual conversation, you will mention a family member or a grandfather or somebody who was in your lineage. Mm-hmm. And you would do that because I was somebody who was never really that much into my lineage like that. Because my mom's mom died when she was a newborn. And so I never got to know that side of the family. And then her grandmother, as far as my mom's grandmother, her mother died when she was a newborn. So it was like all kinds of, you know, kind of family tragedy. People moved that. I've had a very stable living environment with my immediate family, but when it gets past that to cousins, I was never that really into, you know, knowing my family and knowing back who my ancestors was, because every time I look back, it was death, you know? But I would hear you talk about, you know, and I admired you and your platform, and I would hear Dick Gregory talk about, you guys would talk about the ancestors from time to time, just go off into a tangent.
Right.
And then at the same time, my wife would always tell me, Dwann, you need to reconnect. You need to connect with your ancestors, because it's just important. You got to connect with them. They speak to you. They speak through you. You are them.
That's right.
And so, and at the time, I was really stuck, going through a lot of depression because of my job. You know, working in the mental health field. I'm in the middle of South Central LA. I'm having 15 to 20 clients a day. Mostly all the black kids. I get all the black kids in the ages that came my way, especially the ones with the most extreme behavior. And I'm seeing these kids go through these things, and I'm helping them out. I'm saying no matter what I do, it ain't going nowhere. And I got to depression to the point to where I almost had a nervous breakdown. Because I'm out here on these streets, my dog. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not just one of these Facebook people. I'm out there. But it can get very, very, very depressing. And my wife will always be in my head about listening to ancestors. And it was one episode, I cannot remember, it was probably 2014, 15, somewhere around there. You and Dick Gregory are talking about the ancestors. And I was like, you know what? I need to learn more about my family. So since then, I've taken the boat myself. I didn't say, well, it's great Brother Ron did that and Dick Gregory, then go live my life. I said, if Brother Ron's somewhere I want to be, if Dick Gregory's somewhere I want to be, I'm going to incorporate some of the things that they just casually give out. So I started doing more research on my ancestors and knowing who my family is and going back in history. I found out my great-great-great-grandfather up in Illinois, had one of the first patents for the automatic railroad crossing.
Wow.
You know, I found out one of my other great-great-great-grandfathers on the other side of the family was one of the first black senators in Illinois history.
Oh.
You know, and through that, it gave me the courage to get out and push what I do. Because I've always had the talent, but I've always second-guessed myself. And in the second-guessing, I wouldn't do it. That's why, like, my radio show is, like, only a year old instead of 10 years old. You know, I had starts before, but I would always kind of go back and forth. I would start, stop, lose confidence, you know, feel good, not feel good, just unstable footing. When I got in contact with my ancestors and got to know who I am and got to know my ancestors, and I started talking to them. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you, this is how I know it. My closing tagline I give to every show, I got when I first started speaking to my great-great-grandfather, Mr. Smith. and it came in a download for him as clear as day. And it said, this is what you're going to end your radio show with. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up game. That came from a meditation with my great-great-granddad.
Wow.
And everyone I say that to, it's like, it's confirmation that it came from him. I didn't think of that. But that was work that I started a couple of years prior, just listening to you and Dick Gregory talk about ancestors. And a few other people that I listen to here on YouTube, Brother Rich and Tariq and a few other people. Like, it just, you know how things go. People kind of talk about the same subject around the same time. It just happens that way. And it happened that way. And I listened and I applied it. And because I applied it, I'm much further along in what I do and what I do than before I applied it. Because those ancestors, they talk, man. They talk.
Well, you just been confirming something that I'm glad you confirmed that for me.
That's the ancestors.
It's hard for me to sleep right now. I'm restless, and they keep me up, man, with the ideas. Because, like, you know, it's a thing. You know, you're a musician. A lot of musicians, I don't write the songs. It just come to me. And, like, you will come to it. Of the universe, man. Like, things flow through us. Like, you know, to me, it's like, it's overwhelming because there's a lot of things I want to share with you all, but it's like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this out. And a lot of things I just sit on because people already think I'm insane anyway, so I'm just going to sit on this.
Here's how I look at it, man. You got to go all the way 100% in the direction of you, whatever that is. Like, you got to do it. Like, the other night, when I was out, I was just having now I got my breakthrough podcast, my company moving forward. That came through a conversation I had 6 weeks ago with Jupiter. I just looked outside and I thought it was really, really bright. And I thought that was Jupiter, so I have an app called Star Chart and it tells you where everything is. And so sometimes I pull it out to confirm. And if you look towards the southeast every night, you see Jupiter's the brightest star in the sky at about 10 o'clock, from about 10 till about 3 in the morning. Wow. And then right behind it is Saturn. And I was just one day I was just on my porch, you know, one night about 3 in the morning, smoking a joint. I thought it was a weed at first. but in my mind, the Earth, Wind & Fire song Jupiter came. Now, you know me, I'm a big Earth, Wind & Fire fan ever. Their song, I think it's on the All in All album, it's called Jupiter. My name is Jupiter, blah, 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 blah. You guys go and listen to it. And it came on. That made me think it was Jupiter. I saw it was Jupiter, and when I was looking at Jupiter said that you really got to get your company all the way in line with today's environment, online and moving on, because people need the help that you have to offer. But I've been so afraid to put myself out there for years and years and years and years, because we as black people, especially black men, we have that slave upbringing that's been passed down to us. And my company's called Breakthrough Advocacy Services because breakthrough, as black people, the people who get to the top, usually we have to break through something because we've been so passed down so much junk from slavery, we didn't get to go right into our greatness. There was some kind of, and it's usually fear. Like what you're talking about right now, with some of the things that you want to say, it's that fear. But if we don't break through that fear, we never going to reach the highest self we can be. We got to break through it. And that's why my company's name Breakthrough. The whole mission is to help people break through because I broke through. And I want to show and do it. And I have the confidence knowing I'm a conduit now. You told me something like that 2 years ago, I would have gotten the whole be humble, the whole don't get ahead of yourself, all that shit they teach us in church to slow us down from living in our greatness. And one thing I never tell kids that I work with, you never hear me tell a kid pull his pants up. You're never going to hear me tell a kid to be humble. Out of the thousands of kids that I work with, I've never uttered those words. Although I was living it because you don't know it, but I've always worked with my kids through the universe. I channel when I speak to them. And when I speak to my families on communication, I have a degree in communication studies, interpersonal communication, but I still channel my inner being when I'm in these family sessions. And so I said all that to say, we as black people, we all have this gift, but we've all been told to be humble. And if you look up the definition of humble, that means to literally lower yourself. Right. You know, we've been taught that, you know, everything. Look at how we give our music. America's #1 export to the world is black music. And we don't, it's because we're too humble. It's because before we even get to what we want to get to, our first thought is, don't get too big. And that shit's passed down through society and through church, and we never reach it. And so that's something that, as I help, I'm not all the way there yet, but as I help myself, I help the people, and I think that's just something that we have to pick up as a people, to get rid of that humble shit, get rid of that, let's not do it, I got to make sure it's right. We got to get rid of that having to be the perfect thing, and is it going to be acceptable? Look, I'm going to tell you something my wife told me, and it made sense when she said this. Because, I'm 6'2", and I'm down to 325, all right? I said down to 325. Mm-hmm. I'm 6'2". She was like, you a big nigga. They not going to like your black ass anyway. So you may as well be you and do you. Fuck them. And that's true, Brother Ron. Mm-hmm. People, when it comes to I was trying to hide. I didn't put my face on my company on Yelp. I didn't put my face on anything until a few weeks ago. Because I'm thinking like, man, because here in LA, down south, I remember Judge said this. Down south, if you're good at something and you black, they'll still work with you to get what they got to get. Right. Out here in LA, I forgot which episode is the interview you did with Judge last summer. I forgot which interview it was, but he was on point. You in LA, you could be the greatest thing ever. If you black, they don't fuck with you. And my company, it started out being an IEP advocacy company. Okay. IEP, Independent Educational Program, Independent Education Program for children with special needs. Mm-hmm. And I would get these people that would call me, their kid got an IEP, this kid got autism, the autism ain't even in the IEP, so he ain't even getting help. I can help him out, but then the minute they see my rate, they see my black ass show up, they good. They rather let their kids suffer than hire my black ass. That's how the politics are here in LA. So I had to pivot my company to get more into my inspirational work, my that kind of stuff, and give advice online, because that's how the politics are out here, man. But we've been socialized to be that way. But really, the solution is to go against that, man, and just be who we are all the way, man. And I think whatever you got to say, Brother Ron, there's somebody out there that got to hear it. And some of your listeners might not like certain things, but I guarantee you some other new people are going to come in here and be like, whoa, who is this dude? Because you a smart dude. I look forward to hearing from you.
Hey everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that Django review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace.